Loving yourself isn't vanity, it's sanity. Embrace your flaws. You don't owe perfection to anyone. If you have the courage to begin, you have the courage to succeed. Wellness morning to all from Building Spiritual Muscles, a subsidiary of Human Empowerment Cell of Jeevan Charge. We welcome you all to our day 2 of our 10-day ongoing series on Laws of Universe Level 3. Vindri Kaurji, our spiritual healer and life coach, will teach us what actually is true love and courage. Thank you.
Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh. Sat Shri Akal. Good morning to all and good evening to the overseas. Ram Ram Ji. So today, 5:30 morning. Want to see all the smiles? Please put on your cameras. So we start with the second day, a very, very important sub-law, that is self-love. We have done this many times, self-love. We all have to learn to love ourselves. This is a very big tool. If you don't learn to love yourself, you cannot love anyone. You cannot love anyone. Now, there's a thin line, there's a thin line between the self-love and we can say that I will bring in another word called self-compassion. Self-love is what that you value and honor your own, your being, your body, your spirit, your mind. And it says that this is the love that we all are inheriting. So how do we show that we love everyone? Only by accepting them with the full package. Now, what is the difference? There's a thin line between self-love and self-compassion. Because compassion also is a word which we hear about it. So what is the self-compassion? And what is self-love? They both are related, but there is a difference in the concept. Self-compassion is being kind, understanding when we are confronted with personal failings. When we are confronted with personal failings, it means that when you see someone in a mess and you see a friend of yours and you have a compassion because you're confronted with those failures and that pain. So you are having a compassion. The same thing, you have to have a compassion for yourself also. Self-compassion means you see your flaws, you can see all that hurt and pain inside you. Please have the self-compassion. Just as we have a compassion for our friend. If they're going through a mess, then we see that pain and then we have a compassion for them. Same thing, we are also in life going through a lot of pain and hurts. We have to have that compassion that when we are confronting the pain and the hurt, then what is love then? What is self-love? Self-love is which we have inherited already because our identity is love. They say that God is love. So what are we? Mantu Jo Swarup hai. That's my identity, the soul consciousness, that oneness that resides in everyone. That is my identity. And that is love. But then we have inherited, हमको विरासत में मिली है, but जो मेरा मन है ना, has not inculcated that love. So down the years, we are slowly taking the inspiration of the knowledge, and we are inculcating this love inside us. We are inculcating day by day and understanding our own identity, that we are what? We are love. So there is a little difference between compassion and love. So it says that, to make it very more clearer for you, I've already done this before. That first thing is that the self has to be understood. You have to understand the self. We say self-love means if I think I am the physical body, then I will love this body, I will decorate this body, I'll give a good diet to this body, and मैं शरीर को ही संवारती रह जाऊंगी, पार्लर चली जाऊंगी, मैं अपने को खुश करने के लिए I'll go for shopping. So I am just trying to love this physical body, but actually the self means my identity. Self means that soul consciousness. The self means that oneness. Self means that जो हमारे अंदर का वो जो identity है, which is full of love, that is actually my mood root. So if that is myself, then how do I have my self-love? You have to love yourself. I have to love that identity. अभी हम भुलेखे में है कि मेरी आइडेंटिटी ये शरीर है, इसका नाम विंद्री है, ये इतना टॉल है, इसकी वाइफ है, इसकी मदर है, तो I'm loving this body, I'm loving these labels. But understand that the self is not this physical body. ये बहुत बड़ा भुलेखा है. That is why we people are so unhappy. We are not able to be happy in life because we are connected to this physical body. यही मेरी आइडेंटिटी, इसी को हम सवार है, इसी को हम प्यार कर रहे हैं, और इसी के साथ जो जुड़े हुए हैं, जो भी हमारी एक्सटेंशन फैमिली है, हम उसके साथ अटैचमेंट में आके, and we people are unhappy. Now just shift your thought that self is not with your physical body. Self is my identity, my soul conscious, जो ज्योत स्वरूप है, that oneness, that नाम, जिसको हम आत्मा परमात्मा कहते हैं, वही जो है, वही मेरी आइडेंटिटी है. अगर वो मेरी आइडेंटिटी है, now I'm connected to that identity. Now I will love that identity of mine. So when I love that identity of mine, how do I love it? How do I love it? अगर वो मेरी आइडेंटिटी है, उसको हम प्यार कैसे करें? Just by abiding by the quality of the oneness, by abiding the quality of that Atma, the Paramatma, the oneness, Jot Swarup. I have to just abide. What do I abide? उसका कोई रूप रंग तो है नहीं. It is just a package of positive energy. I just incult all those positive energy. Who incults? मेरा मन. कहते that मन is absolutely corrupted. We have to eradicate, and we have to just trigger those beautiful energy into the man. That means we are connected to the oneness, we are connected to our identity, and we have now collected all that positive energy into the man. We have tuned our man to that oneness. This is calling loving ourselves. I'm making it very, very clear to you today. And that इस बुलेखे में मत रहना कि शरीर के साथ, because we are loving this body, we get attached to all the materialistic thing, and हम दुख. So shift your thought process to this self. And this is what is very, very important for us to understand, that अगर हम इस चीज को हम कर लेते हैं, तो what is, they say that to fall in love with yourself is the first secret to happiness. We fall in love where? We fall in love outside. We fall in love this fantasy land, or fall in love with the outside materialistic. We are falling in love with those things. But now falling in love with yourself, that means with that oneness, with your identity, is the first secret to happiness. Love yourself unconditionally, just as you love those close to who are having a lot of faults. हम कहते हैं ना, love everyone, unconditional love. Unconditional love means जिसके अंदर जो भी faults हैं, flaws हैं, we still have to love them. We have to love that person with all the flaws, with the full package we have to want. We have to love them. This is called unconditional love. Now, if the child comes to us and we love the child, but we don't start loving the child, the child talks ill about us or goes against us. So that is not unconditional love. Conditional, we have to do unconditional love. We accept the whole package. Just as we love the people or we love a person with all their flaws, same way we have to love ourselves. हमारे अंदर भी बहुत कुछ गंद है, मन के अंदर बहुत गंद है. Accept it, label it, label it. But you start loving yourself when slowly you are just taking all the good qualities, all the virtues of the oneness and putting into the mind. But usually what you say, I am a failure, I'm fit for nothing. No, please do not. Please do not. I have it, it's okay. I have a thing, but I can change. So please unconditionally love yourself. Now it says to love yourself right now, just as you are, and you can give yourself heaven. Just as you are. If you accept and you love yourself, you can give heaven at present. If you don't love yourself, you're giving hell to yourself. Then it says, if you love, you live now. If you love yourself, you live now. If you do not love yourself, you die at present. Every moment we are dying because we are not loving ourselves. What are we doing? We're going against ourselves. We are having bitterness, anger, revenge, ego. All these are what? We are killing ourselves every day, every now, every second we are dying. So if you want to give heaven to yourself, learn to love yourself. Learn to inculcate all these beautiful qualities inside you. Be gentle to yourself. Forgive yourself. Just as you forgive others. We are learning the lesson of forgiveness. Aren't we learning? Please learn to forgive others. So if you really love yourself, learn to forgive yourself. Just as you're forgiving others. So what is this? This is just all these attitudes. When we are applying this law, we are actually triggering the first law which we had done. In the first level, the law of the divine. The law of the divine. We can only follow the law of the divine if we inculcate this love. And ये love है कहाँ पे? कहीं बाहर नहीं है. ये मेरे अंदर ही है. It's deep rooted. Because the soul inside me, that oneness inside me is pure love. But हम भूले हुए हैं. हमको ये पता ही नहीं है कि ये बहुत बड़ा tool है हमारे लिए. So that I can work on my laws of the universe. So please trigger this love. When you trigger this love, then you will see that you will start loving everyone. You cannot love anyone until you don't love yourself. They say, no, you cannot pour from an empty cup. If I'm empty, I cannot pour it out. So I have to now first trigger that love that is deeply rooted inside me. When that rises, when that is triggered, and the spring comes out, then I am able to love others. That is the power of the first law of the divine, the law of the divine. And if I inculcate this love and for the divine, then you will see that you will be very careful in all the other laws. You'll be very careful of your causes. You will be very careful of your seeds, because you know the negative causes, the negative seeds are going against this law. They go against all the laws. Then your correspondence, you will see, is going to be negative. Your compensations are going to be negative. Your fruits are going to be negative. Your rhythms are going to go in balance. You will see the yin and the yang. That is also one of the laws. When this inside love is not inculcated inside you, you don't use this tool, then what will happen? In a male, the yin will go up, and in the female, the yang will go up. All imbalance ho jayega. All the laws are going to go haywire. But if you trigger this tool inside you, it is there inside you. You just have to get inspired with this knowledge. Create that aspiration. वो जज्बा उठाओ कि I am that powerful, I can do it. उसके अंदर डेडिकेशन लेके आओ. Dedication के साथ you start working on the laws, and now you pick up this tool of love, and then you will see that all your laws are going to work beautifully. It's going to work beautifully. That means this law is very, very important for us, that we take this tool, no borrowing, it is already inside you. Now, what are the 4 levels? There are certain levels of self-love. Now, what is the first level? You have to be self-aware. Self-awareness is very, very important. For example, we will say that today, if I really want to pick up this tool, so what will be? Now I'm becoming aware. I've got the knowledge, I've got the inspiration, I've got the aspiration. Now my dedication is started. I become aware. So what happened? Before we can love ourselves, we must know ourselves. We have to become aware. अभी हमने क्या किया था कि what is a self? So that means we must have that knowledge. We must know that what we are. Then only we can become aware. So from where do we get that knowledge? What we are sharing. This knowledge is the inspiration. So with this knowledge, first thing, we have to become aware of who am I? मैं हूँ कौन? What did I come to know? I became aware of that self, that I'm not the physical body, I am that self. So this is how you reach to the self-love. First, you have to become aware. You have to have the knowledge. And when you have got the knowledge, then you say, okay, self-acceptance. Self-acceptance. Now, how is the self-acceptance? Now, there are 2 things. One is your self-acceptance, that I am that I am. I am that oneness, that is my identity. But at the same time, वो मन भी है जिसके अंदर कोड है, जिसके अंदर डर्ट है, जिसके अंदर नेगेटिविटी भी है. I have to accept it. मेरा मूल तो वही है, but I'm not being happy. I'm not able to contain a heaven inside me. Why? Because I'm accepting कि मेरे मन के अंदर negativity है. So I'm accepting both the things. So it comes, you have to accept it. But you have to accept this also, that my self, that identity is very strong, and I have the power to do what I can do. Then when you get this knowledge, you become aware, you come to self-acceptance, then you have that confidence, self-confidence. See, this is how step by step it goes. You become aware of your identity. How? Because the knowledge, when you become aware of your identity, then you accept कि मेरी आइडेंटिटी तो ये है, पर मैं ऑपोजिट काम कर रही हूँ. एक्सेप्टेंस आ गई. When acceptance आ गई, knowledge आ गई, then you have that confidence, self confidence आ गया कि yes, now I can do it. Then I come to my self love. Then that love comes, where you come into gratitude, affirmations, and then you start looking after your self care. That means physically, mentally, and spiritually, you start looking after yourself. This is the level of how you reach the self-love. First, awareness of the self. with the knowledge. And then when you have the knowledge and you know exactly who you are, then you have some acceptance. After the acceptance, you have the self-confidence. And when you have the self-confidence, then you start using the tool of love. With what? With gratitude, affirmations, and looking after yourself, taking care of the physical, mental, and your spiritual, taking care of it. Now, in life, you will see that many things can happen. I will give you 3 examples that how do we inculcate this love inside us. They say that how do we show this love and compassion? Just a small example. They say a student fails in the exams. Now, how will he tell? How will he inculcate this love and compassion? He has failed. The negative is there. So that means he has to bring in a compassion. That means he has to bring in a different attitude. What will he say? It's all right. We all fail sometime. But still, I'm a pretty good student. It's all right. We can fail sometime. But even then, I'm a good student. नहीं तो क्या होता है when wherever we fail, I'm fit for nothing. I cannot do. I don't think I'll be able to do. I'm a failure in life. Stop it. So if you want to show the compassion to yourself and love, I'm giving you 3 examples. First is a student who fails and he says, what is all right? Sometimes we do fail, but even then I'm a pretty good student. Now, for example, a father gets angry. And what does he do? He hits the child. When he hits the child, so what does he now say? Usually the child, father gets angry, either he goes away outside, or at times said, what did I do? I should not have done it. I should not have been hidden. I lost my temper. Now, what will he say if he really wants to have compassion and self-love? He will say, you are not a bad. Otherwise, we say, no, oh, I think I've not been a good parent. I'm not a good father. He says, you are not a bad father. You just lost your temper. Everyone loses their temper. So I apologize, beta. Forgive you. Forgive me. So what is it? I will commit to be a good father next time. You're showing your compassion. You're loving yourself. So just a change of word. These are the magic words. So rather than just brooding over and getting angry with everyone, so how does he show the compassion for himself? How does he show the love for himself? By saying what? It's all right. I lost temper. Everyone does. But I think I will be a better father next time. But I'm sorry. I will not repeat it again. That shows you have compassion for yourself. You're loving yourself. Now, for example, an employee. What does he say? He says, for example, he has a job. And in the job, he does not get his higher position. He doesn't get that position. So what does he say? अब मैं छोड़ दूंगा, अब मैं दूसरी जगह चला जाऊंगा, जब मेरे को और कुछ मिलेगा, मेरे को क्यों नहीं दिया गया? Or he will sit down and start brooding. Now, how does he show compassion and love for himself? He says, getting promotion does not define that you are not a good person, that you're not a good worker. Getting promotion, that employee says, getting promotion doesn't show that I'm not a good worker. You just need to work a little bit more effort. Just improve on my own skill. And I'm sure I'll cover that area. Showing compassion for yourself. Just change the words. Just change the words. This is a little of effort that you have to use. Why? Because this is a very, very important tool on working on the laws of the universe. Ab ye note karo, ye love is going to be a very, very good tool for you for all the laws that you have. जितने भी laws आपने किए हैं, let it be 20 of them or 22 of them, all the laws are going to work beautifully if you use this tool of love. कहीं किसी से मांगने की जरूरत नहीं है. It is already inside you. It is already inside you. You have inherited, ये आपको विरासत में मिली है. You are what? You are love. You are embodiment of love. That's your identity. That's your attributes. These are the characteristics of yours. So the next law says courage. This is another sub-law. It is a courage, another two. Now, when there is courage, what does courage actually mean? It is a choice and willingness to confront. Courage is to confront what? Agony, pain, danger, then uncertainty. That means courage is you are confronting something. What are you doing? You're just confronting them. And when you confront these things, it's called courage. It's called courage. So what happens? This is very, very important. Courage, a firmness of mind and action when facing oppositions. What opposition? Pain, anger, dangers, a danger, uncertainty, agony. These are all the things which you have to confront. When you confront very willingness, that is willingness, then that is courage. Now, then what if this is courage? Then what is bravery? Bravery is especially in battles. You show your bravery when you're in a battle. So there is a difference between courage and bravery. Now, courage also has, there are different types of courages that you have. There's a moral courage, disciplined courage, intellectual courage, empathetic courage, spiritual courage. Now, what is moral courage? Moral courage is something that you are going to stand up. You are going to stand up and acting when there is injustice. Morality, moral. When there is something injustice, you have the courage to stand up. Do we have the courage to stand up? When someone is having the human rights or are being violated, or there's some unfairness, or when there is injustice, do we stand up? Do we have the courage to stand up? No, we don't. We don't have the courage. We think we're just living for ourselves. Why should we stand up for others? Even if there is something which is violating me also, do I have the courage to stand up? No. So where is this courage? This is also deeply rooted inside you. This is one of the qualities of the oneness inside you, the courage. So when you have inherited that quality, you just are taking the inspiration from the knowledge. Whatever we are sharing, जो भी हम share कर रहे हैं, ये knowledge ही आपको inspiration दे रही है कि oh, this courage is also my one part of my the value or my virtues. I have it inside me. पर मैंने कभी यूज ही नहीं किया. मैं हमेशा ही डरती रही हूँ. किसी ने मेरे के साथ कोई जुल्म कर दिया, I don't take a stand. I don't have the courage. If I see someone is being ill-treated and there's some injustice going on, I don't stand up. That courage is there. You just have to be inspired. आपके अंदर वो जज्बा आना चाहिए कि oh, this is inside me, I have, and I have to stand. So use this courage, this moral courage, to stand for others where there is injustice going on. Now, discipline. Discipline courage is what? They say that this discipline courage is something, you know what you can say, that there are certain situations that come and I have a discipline. For example, मेरे अंदर एक ऐसा discipline है. And कोई situation आती है which goes and violates my discipline. My discipline. Do I take a stand? Do I take a stand? Do I have the courage to take a stand? For example, just giving you an example, I don't go into any such ceremonies which we say कि ये कर्म कांड है. किसी की डेथ हो गई, साल के बाद जाना है, उठाले पे जाना है, जी साल हो गया, वरीना पे जाना है. My discipline is I do not go. It is my discipline. Because that is what my guru has told me. Now, this is going to be an event which takes place in the society. I don't go. But maybe it is in my own family, in my own extended family, ho sakta hai in my in-laws or in my pekas. This thing comes, koi varina hai. Now, do I have the courage? Do I have the courage? कि no means no. बेशक वो मेरे अपनी फैमिली के अंदर है, बेशक वो मेरे अंदर पेकों के अंदर. Discipline means discipline. I have the courage or not. Usually what happens? लोग क्या कहेंगे, छोड़ो परे, people are not going to like it, let's go. We do not have the courage. So this courage has to be a disciplined courage, intellectual courage. Intellectual courage, like आजकल का जो जमाना चल रहा है, कुछ साल पहले we never had the knowledge that there are a lot of illusions and delusions going on all over the society. This is intellectual. With the knowledge, we are coming to know a lot of things which people are practicing, which are all actually एक परम को लेके ही हैं. Do we have the courage to pour out the new intellectual or the new knowledge to the society? Do we have it? No, we don't have. ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕਿਉਂ ਮੱਥਾ ਮਾਰੀਏ, let us छोड़ो परे, ਐਵੇਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਹੀ ਪੈ ਜਾਸਨ. Why get into this rat race? ठीक है, it's okay. This is what we all are doing. We do not have the courage. We do not have the courage. We don't even impart that knowledge. Mano ya na mano, that's up to you. But this is the truth. We don't have the intellectual courage. We do not have. Now, empathetic courage. What is empathy? What is empathy? We have an apathy, we have a sympathy, and we have an empathy. Apathy is we are not bothered. Jo bhi ho raha hai, we just pass on. Why should we bother? It does not affect me. I just walk out. Sympathy means someone is going through a mess, and मैं भी उसके साथ ही रुल जाती हूँ अंदर. मैं उसके साथ ही बह गई. Empathy means I have a control over myself. I get into the person's comfort zone. I get into the person's shoe, heal the person, and pull that person out of it without harming myself. Sympathy means I harm myself. Empathy is where I get into the person's shoe, part the knowledge, pull that person out of that uncomfortable those situation without harming myself. That is empathy. Do you have the courage? Do you have the courage to get into the person's shoe? No, we don't have the time. We are apathy. निकल जाओ. हमने क्या लेना? हमारा क्या है? जिनको हो रहा है उनके हाथ में all extension और निकाल देंगे. Why should we bother? We only think for ourselves. Either it is apathy or it is sympathy. किसी के घर में कुछ बात होगी, कोई डेथ होगी, हम जाते हैं. We go for the sake of going. थोड़ा सा उनको अफसोस कराते, हमारा भी नाम लिखा जाएगा. आई गिले हो जासन, चलो जाइए, हो आइए, या चलिए 3 बारी जाना पड़ेगा, 1 2 3 टाइम जाना पड़ेगा, नाम लिखा जाएगा, वो 3 बारी आई थी. These are not empathy. But do you have the courage? Do you have the courage for empathy? Do you have the time? Then comes the spiritual courage. Now, what is spiritual courage? Day in and out, man mein, there are all type of negativity, thoughts, emotions, vikar hai man ke andar. So spiritual courage means we have the courage to face them. Are we able to acknowledge them? Are we able to label them? Are we able to confront them and transmute them? This is spiritual courage. हमारे अंदर वो जज्बा है और हमारे अंदर वो करेज है, हिम्मत है कि हम उनको रोज का रोज confront the fear. No, we do not have. A simple thing. We are very scared of dogs. Do we have the courage to confront the fear of the dogs? I can see Arvinda smiling because she's scared of the dogs. So do you have the courage to face the door? Because वो डर है. So there are so many fears inside us. Do you have the courage? We don't, we just put it under the carpet. We just put it under the carpet. So spirituality also says that you have to have the courage to face each and every negativity inside you. And when you are facing all this negativity inside you, you're actually acknowledging them, labeling them, and transmuting them. So what does it say? As we look at the dinner, there is a war inside us. There is a war inside us. What is my identity? My identity is courage. My identity is love. So what do? I pick up these tools. And what I do, I behead. उनके गले काट दे, उनके सिर उतार देते हैं. किस चीज के? हमें के. Do we have the courage? The fear का, jealousy का. Do we have the courage? We are just putting it under the carpet. We're not ready to face it. We're not ready to face it. So we have to have spiritual courage. It's very, very important for us. Now, it says that if you want to make more courage, you want to inbuild this courage inside you. So what have you to do? If you want to be more courageous, how do you work? Start looking at yourself honestly. Pehle to you start looking at yourself. Go deep into your roots and look at yourself very honestly, very honestly. अगर डर है तो हाँ डर है, acknowledge it. अगर मेरे अंदर jealousy है, jealousy है. Be very honest about it. Then find out what are your fears, what are your flaws. Find out. Flaws के साथ ये भी find out what are your strengths. Maybe there is always a fear of failure. Maybe there is a lot of deep-rooted fear of insecurity. Maybe there is a lot of fear of the elders. Maybe there's a fear of your father. Maybe there's a fear of your husband or wife. There must be something. Find out and acknowledge it and be very, very honest about it. Then find out what is your strength. And then find how you can use them in your conflict, how you can use it. If you really use this, you can increase your courage, because to face all these things, you need courage. Then when you are faced with situations, then you need again courage. Physical, emotional, intellectual, social, moral, and spiritual. Situations are going to come in life. You have to face them. Don't run away from them. Take an effort, make an effort of confronting them with the courage. Physical, emotional, intellectual, social, moral, spiritual. Use all these type of courages when you come according to the situation. For example, situation आई है, a simple thing कि भाई किसी के घर में जाना है, मैं एक बारी हो आई हूँ, दूसरे कहते हैं कि चलो चलो हो आते हैं. You have the courage according to your thing, your own discipline, according to your own moral, according to your social, your intellect is enough. It is enough. So do you have the courage to say, it's okay, I have been, you can go. I don't need to give a, मेरे को लिख के नहीं आना कि मैं एक बारी जा रही हूँ, दो बारी जा. No, I don't need to. This is a very common, people are always in this rat race. You must have the courage to speak up. So, so now you take this type of all these courages when you are facing all these challenges in life. Now, today onwards, whatever you see that comes today, the whole day, face each challenge with the courage. Whichever you see, intellectual हो, या बेशक वो social हो, बेशक वो moral की लोड है, बेशक वो spiritual की लोड है, make an effort Please use this knowledge. This tool is very, very important for you so that you can counteract. When you're counteracting all these things, you will see all the laws are being counteracted. When you're being confronted, you're using these tools. Somewhere you're working on your own causes. You're working on your seeds. Somewhere when the fruits come in front of you, your responses are there. It is not action with a reaction. Your responses are there. That is why these tools are very, very important. क्योंकि कोई भी इस चीज को लिए बाहर जाने की लोड़ नहीं है, कोई जगह पे जाने की लोड़ नहीं है, कोई स्पिरिचुअल प्लेसेस में जाने की लोड़, ये सब तुम्हारे अंदर ही है. क्या चाहिए? खाली इंस्पिरेशन फ्रॉम द नॉलेज दैट वी आर शेयरिंग. सब अंदर ही है. खाली थोड़ा सा ट्यून करो मन में, इंट्रोस्पेक्ट करो, डायलॉग दो, एंड यू एंटर इनटू दैट फील्ड. Very simple. So today you are going to use now 4 laws. What did we do yesterday? The aspiration. Through the inspiration, with all this knowledge of inspiration, use your aspiration as dasba. And with that, now dedicate yourself. Yes, now I am going to do it. What? I am going to get that love because I am an embodiment of love. I am not hatred. I am not that bitterness. That is also body conscious. I am not the body conscious. I am the soul conscious. I am that love. I'm going to use this tool. I'm going to have the courage. When you have love, you automatically have courage to face each and every situations. And now with all these 4 tools, we are going to face each and every challenges in life. And when you face the challenges in life, you see that actually you're working on all the laws. So today, this is your takeaway. Please work on all the 4 laws today. All the 4 laws. Your aspiration, your dedication, your love, and your courage. I hope I'm quite clear about it. Any doubts, please come up with it. Any questions, Arvinder, you can just carry on.
Self-love and courage. 2 wonderful, wonderful tools indeed. Yes, we can take up the questions now. Hanji Rajwanji.
सत श्री अकाल बुआ जी.
सत श्री अकाल बच्चे.
आवाज आ रही मेरी?
हाँ जी, वेरी क्लियर.
बुआ जी, 10वें पातशाह ने क्या सी भी जिन प्रेम कियो तिन ही प्रभ पायो. So does he say that self-love should be accompanied by loving others simultaneously?
See,
Otherwise,
until
your self-love, your self-love will turn into selfishness.
Yes, what happens? This is an equation. You cannot love anyone until you don't love yourself. It is an equation. You cannot love anyone until you don't love yourself. The day you start learning to love yourself, automatically you are loving everyone. Because when you're learning to love yourself, that means that self, that identity. When you're loving that self, that identity means you're inculcating all the beautiful positive energy, all that quality inside you, all the virtues. That means self-love means that मेरा मन जो है वो सारे उसके गुणों को धार ले, for bringing down into our life. When we come, हमारे अंदर एक सोची आ जाती है. We start becoming aware, we become alert that we are the soul conscious. That time we have another vision where we can see the soul in everyone. Automatic, this is an automation. When you start loving yourself, आपके अंदर इतना प्यार है that you always having all the virtues and values in the man. Automatically there is an inner vision a person creates where he can see that soul consciousness in everyone. There's no discrimination. He sees everything is everyone is one. It is an automation. You love yourself, automatically you love others. You cannot love anyone until you don't love yourself. Simple formula. You don't have to first love yourself and then you go out to love someone. No, it is automation. And to love
बुआ
yourself.
जी, regarding courage, we have to be nirbhav. We should not fear to be courageous. Now, that bravery is on the battlefield when you fight others.
Yes.
But then there's a battle within yourself.
Yes.
You are
Yes.
having a battle within yourself.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Vices and there are. So elaborate on this
Yes.
topic, please.
See what happens. There is a battle inside. जैसे बाहर दी फौज होती है ना, you go on, there's a fight in the battlefield. Like this, there's a battle inside. एक लड़ाई साढ़े अंदर भी चल रही है. This is a battle between the vices and the virtues. There's a fight. The Kauravas and the Pandavas. There's a fight inside virtues and the vices. There's a battle. This is a battle. Do we have the courage? Now, this is a battle. This is a war. This is a valor where we are going to fight. But do we have the courage? Do we have the courage? Do we have the courage first
to be brave?
So that is mean we have to have the courage first to have that bravery, that valor to fight against it. पहले तो हमारे अंदर वो courage है कि नहीं? Are we able to first confront it? या पिठ दिखा के नस जाते हैं ऐसी? Do we have the courage? So that also both things are working. There is a battle. There's a bravery in us that we can fight. We pick up. ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਉਠਾਓ ਸ਼ਸਤਰ ਕਿਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦੇ? ਪ੍ਰੇਮ ਦੇ. ਉਠਾਓ ਗੁਣਾਂ ਦੇ ਸ਼ਸਤਰ ਤੇ ਚੀਰ ਕੇ ਰੱਖ ਦੋ ਉਸ ਹਉਮੈ ਨੂੰ. So there's a fight. But to fight this bravery, do you have the courage? Or you're just putting it under the carpet?
You should have courage.
Both things are working. Both things are working.
ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀ ਵੀ ਕਿਸੇ ਦੇ ਮ੍ਰਿਤਕ ਕੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਦੇ ਡੈਥ ਤੇ ਜਾਣਾ ਜਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾਣਾ, ਇਟਸ ਅਪ ਟੂ ਯੂ। ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਅਗਰ ਕਿਸੇ ਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾਓਗੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕੰਧਾ ਦੇਣ ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਏਗਾ। ਮੇਰੀ ਗੱਲ ਸੁਣੋ, ਜਦ ਆਦਮੀ ਚੱਲ ਵਸਿਆ ਤਾਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਪਤਾ ਵੀ ਕੋਈ ਕੰਧਾ ਦੇਣ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ। ਸੋ ਇਜ਼ ਇਟ ਯੋਰ own decision to go or not, or it is should have a respect for?
No. It's your own decision. It's your own decision. See, आज किसी दे घर कोई हादसा हो जाता है. Okay, maybe someone whom I know quite well. Why do we go to that person? For condolence. We go for condolence. ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਬਈ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਘਰ ਗਏ ਹਾਂ, ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਤਸੱਲੀ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ that we are there with you. Okay. ਕਿ ਸਾਡਾ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਜਾਣ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਉਹ ਕੰਮ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ? ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ. It goes, we sit down with the person, ਅੱਧਾ ਘੰਟਾ ਬੈਠ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ। ਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਦੂਸਰੀ ਵਾਰ ਜਾਣ ਨਾਲ ਜਾਂ ਤੀਸਰੀ ਵਾਰ ਜਾਣ ਜਾਂ ਚੌਥੀ ਵਾਰ ਜਾਣ ਨਾਲ what will happen? We usually say, ਚਲੋ ਜੀ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ, ਦੋ ਵਾਰੀ, ਤਿੰਨ ਵਾਰੀ, ਚਾਰ ਵਾਰੀ ਜਾਓ। ਲੋਕ ਤੱਕਦੇ ਜੀ, ਕੱਲ ਕਹਿਣਗੇ ਜੀ ਆਏ ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ, ਪਰ ਇੱਕੋ ਵਾਰੀ ਪੰਨ ਨਾਲ ਆਈ ਤੇ ਚੱਲੀ। This is what the society is doing. This is what the society is doing. ਅਸੀਂ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪਣਾ ਨਾਮ
ਜਾਣਨਾ ਵੀ ਦੁੱਖ ਪ੍ਰਗਟ ਕਰਦਾ।
हाँ, तो we think
ਨਾ ਜਾਣਨਾ ਵੀ ਦੁੱਖ ਪ੍ਰਗਟ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਨਾ।
कितना दुख प्रकट होता है? Are you in the apathy or you are in the sympathy or are you in the empathy? That's what I did with you, the empathy courage. What is the empathy courage? Do you have the courage to go there, get into the wearer's shoe and give the knowledge and take them out of the thing? Do you have the courage? साढ़े को इतना टाइम ही कोई नहीं। ਐਵੇਂ ਥੋੜੀ
ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ।
ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨਾ ਪੁਰਾਣੇ ਟਾਈਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਗੱਲ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਸੀ, ਵੈਰੀ ਨਾਈਸ ਸੇਇੰਗ, ਕਿ ਵੱਡੇ ਬਜ਼ੁਰਗ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸਨ ਚਲੋ ਕਿਸੇ ਦੇ ਘਰ ਜਾਣਾ, ਕੋਈ ਇਵੈਂਟ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, ਕੋਈ ਡੈਥ ਹੋ ਗਈ, ਅਸੀਂ ਪ੍ਰਚੋਨੀ ਕਰਨ ਜਾਣਾ। ਪ੍ਰਚੋਨੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸਨ। ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ ਕੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ? ਅਫਸੋਸ ਕਰਨ ਜਾਣਾ। ਲੁੱਕ ਐਟ ਦ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਸ ਬਿਟਵੀਨ ਦ ਟੂ ਵਰਡ। ਵਾਟ ਡਸ ਅਫਸੋਸ ਮੀਨ? ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਬੰਦਾ ਚਲਾ ਗਿਆ, ਇਟਸ ਵੈਰੀ ਸੈਡ। ਪ੍ਰਚੋਨੀ ਮੀਨਸ ਵਾਟ? ਕਿ ਅਗਲੇ ਦੇ ਘਰ ਜਾਣਾ, ਉਸਨੂੰ ਐਲੀਵੇਟ ਕਰਨਾ, ਉਸਨੂੰ ਉਸ ਦੁੱਖ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਕੱਢਣਾ। उसनों गुरु दे पाने, उस रब दे पाने नूं मनाण वास्ते कि भाई ਇਹ ਚੀਜ਼ ਜਿਹੜੀ होनी कोई रोक नहीं सकता, उसनूं उठाना, उसनूं एलिवेट करना at a plutoni. What are we doing? ਅਸੀਂ ਪੁੰਨੋਣੀ ਥੋੜੀ ਕਰਨ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ. We could just go for the sake of what? For condolence. ਚਲੋ ਜੀ ਗਏ ਆ, ਹਾਦਸਾ ਆਇਆ, is very sad, and we come back. This is not empathy.
ਪਰ ਹਾਂਜੀ ਭੂਆ ਜੀ ਮਗਰ COVID-19 ਵਿੱਚ ਤੇ ਸਾਰਾ ਥੰਮ ਗਿਆ ਸੀਗਾ, ਹੁਣ ਥੋੜਾ ਥੋੜਾ ਹੈ, ਮਗਰ ਕੋਵਿਡ ਵਿੱਚ ਤਾਂ ਪੂਰਾ ਸਟਾਪ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਸੀਗਾ, ਕਿਸੇ ਦੇ ਮ੍ਰਿਤਕ ਕੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀਗੇ ਕੋਵਿਡ ਦੇ ਡਰ ਸੇ।
ਦੇਖੋ ਕੋਵਿਡ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਦੋਂ ਕੋਈ ਆਪਣਾ ਵੀ ਚਲਾ ਵੀ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਸੀ ਨਾ, ਸਾਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੀ ਮੌਤ ਦਾ ਇਤਨਾ ਪਿਆ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਲੋਕ ਤਾਂ ਬਾਹਰ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਨਿਕਲਦੇ ਸਾਂ। We were so scared of for our own death. People were dying every day. ਸ਼ਰੀਰਕ ਮੌਤ ਤੇ ਇੱਕੋ ਵਾਰੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ, ਪਰ weren't we dying every day?
Yeah.
ਘਰ ਦੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਸਰੀਰ ਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਜਾਣ ਦੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤੀ for the death, ਕਿ ਭਾਈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸੰਸਕਾਰ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਜਾਣਾ, because we were all dying every day. ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੀ ਮੌਤ ਦਾ ਫਕਰ ਪੈ ਗਿਆ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਤੇ ਨਾ ਪਕੜੇ ਜਾਈਏ ਕੋਵਿਡ ਨਾਲ। So you have to have the courage. You have to courage. You have the courage to face the truth. To face the truth, you have to have the courage. अरे जितना दुनिया में कितने कर्म कांड होंगे, कितनी चीज़ें नहीं होंगी, कितने परम लेके, do we have the courage to talk? We don't have the courage to talk. ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕੌਣ ਮੱਥਾ ਮਾਰੇਗਾ, ਐਵੇਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਹੀ ਪੈ ਜਾ ਸਰ। So this is what we are. A simple thing, moral empathy. We don't have the moral courage also. किसी नाल injustice हो रही, do we have the courage to stand? Do we have the courage to stand? We don't have the courage. We don't have the time. If we don't have the time, we don't have the courage, and we don't pick up this tool of courage, then where does your cause go? Your causes are going to cause all the effect, your compensation, your correspondence, all are going to go haywire. क्योंकि तुसी लोगों ने कर्ज दा उठाया, तुसी तमाशा देखिया, असी के लेना देना, चलो जी तो निकलो। Don't think by not picking up this tool you're going to be spared. No. When you don't pick up this tool of courage, let it be intellectual, let it be moral, let it be discipline, let it be spiritual, when you don't pick up this tool, you are creating a karma. You are creating and growing a seed of what? Negative seed. And what will the negative seed create? Negative fruits. They will have a negative compensation, a negative correspondence. Your rhythms are going to go haywire. You will not even stand on the first divine, the law of the divine, the first law. You will never. क्योंकि तुझे अपने मूल नाल नहीं जुड़े हो. You have not been connected to your own identity. You are not even able to love yourself. Not even having an empathy means not even having a courage. You're not even able to love yourself. If you're not able to love yourself, what will you love others? See how all the laws are all interconnected. So it is very important, even if there may be just a courage, but this is also a very beautiful tool. Hanji.
Thank you, Bhoji.
Bhoji, like you spoke, Hanji, Bhoji, that you spoke of self-love, it's nothing to do with Bahari Sarup, right? It's all internal within. So yes. Courage is also basically overcoming your demons inside your vikar,
yes.
Right?
Yes.
So fear of, say, like you spoke of fear of dogs, or fear of heights, or fear of water, lifts, whatever people may have, that's not a demon, no? That's not a vikar.
See, but had the fear, no, it's an energy of fear. Why? Fear, insecure. Beneath the fear, there is insecurity. And beneath the insecurity, there's an illusion and delusion. And below the illusion and delusion, there is home. How? I'm fear of the dog. Beneath the insecurity, agar wo manu kat gaya te, kat gaya insecurity. Beneath that is what? Agar wo man kat gaya, then what will I do? illusion बड़ा कुछ हो सकता है. Below that is हमें, मैं, मेरा, मनु कट गया, मेरा शरीर, मैं कितने. You see, all these things are all in one line. You see, one after the other, they are lapping. All are negative things. So, एक fear नु हटा देता, थोड़ी सारी चीजें खत्म हो जाएंगी. एक fear नु हटा देता. So that is why we tell confront it. A person who is very scared of swimming, we just throw them into the pool. Definitely, we keep all the things, ready. कि भाई डूबना नहीं चाहिए, but we have all that, precautions and all. But we just throw them into the pool. People are very scared of going to the lift. People are very scared of staying in the dark. They are all fears because the energy behind fear ऊपर नजर आ रहा है, but this is the tip of the iceberg. What is beneath? You can see all these other negativity. तो एक डर नु confront किया, सारी चीजें निकल जाएंगी. A simple thing. It is just a dog. It is just a darkness in the thing, or it is a lift, or maybe it's a height. But do we know what is beneath the water? Fear is on the tip. What is beneath? मनु कुछ हो ना जाए, I मनु कोई पकड़ ना लगे. You that fear, it is all hallucination. This is just assumptions. These are all assuming. And we create our own world inside. We're just creating an own world inside. This is the mini costume that we created. So that is why they say, confront.
Yes.
All things are going to come in front of you. Just confront. Take the knowledge, become aware, pick up the tools of courage and confront it. Counteract these things. Hanji.
So if you scratch the surface, beneath, if you go to the root cause, it is home, then illusion, then that fear, external fear that's coming out. It's showing as fear, but actually it is deep-rooted home inside.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely right.
Yeah, thank you, Paul. You carry so much love in your heart. Give some to yourself. How you love yourself is how you teach others to love you. On this lovely note, we end our second session today. Thank you all for joining in. Have a wonderful Wednesday.
Why are all these